What's up, boys? In this video, we're showcasing Roana, and we're gonna be doing Azimanak Hunt 11. I did Banshee 11, I did Golem 11, I did showcase her in Arena first video. So far, very strong in both PVE and PvP content. I'll show you her stats. She's plus 15 skill ups. At the table is the 3-man setup I'll be using with the doggy. Unfortunately, he's gonna be ripping early on. But yeah, he gonna be getting some XP though. He gonna be getting some XP. Okay. Roana, strong hero so far. So, memory imprint using unknown slate there. It's helpful for the squishies on the team. I would say skill ups is skill 3 and then skill 2 as much healing as possible. You might want to boost the barrier here. Nothing crazy. The barrier is not that strong, actually. It's not that big, guys. So maybe a few skill ups at the end, right? You don't have to. Definitely don't need that damage at the end, but I'm crazy. That's why. I'm just crazy and I wanted to get the plus 15 number. Okay. So, Touch of Rikos is an artifact I'm going to be using. The more heroes I get hit with this artifact and her passive together, her skill 2, it's nuts. It's definitely nuts. That's her gear. That's her stats. Nice amount of health and defense. Speed, to be honest, not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. For the way I built her, she's working out just fine with this right now. Definitely want to kind of build her with like super high health and effect resistance one day. But I don't have the gear, or I would have to get like Angelica Montmorency's gear, and it's gonna mess things up. This is account number 3 on the Europe server, guys, by the way. So next in line, yes, that passive, man, it triggers when the team receives counter attack or dual attack or extra attack. Like, that's huge. That is huge. These things are happening everywhere in PvE. Not everywhere, but in so many places that you might not notice. That is huge. That is huge. It works in Golem with the counter attack. It works in... Wait a second. There's the attack from the Golem that applies defense break and then does an Earth Shock. I didn't pay too much attention there if it did trigger it, but that might consider as an extra attack. Banshee, she does extra attack as well, so that triggers there. Now, let's find out in Azimanak Hunt if it does work, right? So, it's a huge amount of healing. The more heroes that get hit, I mean, by those things, the more it will heal the whole group and boost combat units by 5%. Insane. Everything works with her max health. All the recovery for health and the barrier. Huge. I say the soul burn on this is not that massive. Like it's the barrier. It's the barrier. It's just gonna affect your whole team. But it might be something that change things up for you. Okay, anyways, let's move on here. Oh, no. Let's get to Seaside here. That's her gear, plus 15. I'm just showcasing Roana, guys. You know, these are probably heroes that maybe you don't have them, maybe you have them. If you're an early new player, you know, early game, maybe mid game, even late game, man. Like the Lux sometimes just... Wait, Charles not here. Not in this one. He was in Banshee though. So champion Zerato, I mean, he can like pretty much like solo this place. He could solo it with lifesteal set, but he's rocking Illa's Violin. Actually, yes, with Illa's Violin, he can solo it because he's got recovery on skill 1. Anyways, it's not about this hero. When he receives debuffs, he transfers them back. So that's actually quite powerful for this encounter. But yeah, let's go in there and see what happens. Let's see what happens. I mean, you could always be running a 4-man setup. It's all good. Oh, Ras makes an appearance here. But man, like Roana, like very strong. Very strong. Of course, like if you set her like on your defense in PvP, players can just like play around that, right? They're not gonna be bringing heroes with extra attack, counter attack, maybe. I mean, they're not gonna be swapping their gear. They might just avoid you, but yeah, like Seaside, Bellona. But if they feel confident they can apply unhealable, then by all means, and you don't have clans, then there you go. Or debuff immunity. Very cool animation. The revive in PvP is PvE is not something that will be too useful unless your team's not so stable. But it can have its use. It can have its use. So far, I didn't really need revive, and it will not bring back dead heroes to life. It only applies the buff. If you die with the buff, you're coming back. That's how it works. Okay, so the constant stream of skill 2 of Seaside Bellona is quite overpowered here. It's about taking out those cocoons and then working on the boss, because the boss takes heavily reduced damage when those adds, those cocoons, eggs, whatever, they are up. So you definitely want to take them down. You want to take out that frenzy buff. Is it frenzy or berserk buff? That's why I have Illis Violent on Champion Zerato. Now you can buy it from the shop in Hall of Trials, which is a major plus because Europe server didn't have access to that. I just got, we got it like recently. We got defense break on this team, and well, we don't have attack buff, but it doesn't matter. As long as you take care of those adds, you're all good. So here the barrier, you know, nothing that crazy. Actually, it's not looking bad here. In PvP, it didn't look so good, but to be honest, like, I mean, I prefer the barrier over some healing because we already have healing from the passive and skill 3. So that's great. And you have to remember, that's a skill 1. Most of the time, skill 1 do nothing. They do nothing. Sometimes they will do a debuff, of course, debuffs that like are very powerful, attack break, defense break. But sometimes you don't want debuffs. And this is the moment for that. When you already have too many debuffs, over 2 debuffs on this boss, the boss clears the debuffs. So you can just, actually the next run, I'll try to remember. I will turn off Seaside Bellona's skills because I just want her to trigger her passive, skill 2, and her skill 1 with the target debuff. The thing is, the unhealable plus the cannot debuff are an issue because you already have attack break, right? And defense break with Champion Zerato. Plus he's resurrecting debuffs to the boss. So the boss is clearing those debuffs few times during the battle. But yeah, Champion Zerato is definitely a very powerful hero. He could be like your in early mid game. He could be like, well, maybe not early game in this place, but maybe you have the right comp, you can make it happen. I mean, the game, like companies like throwing gear at us nowadays. The buff is called Berserk. So yeah, you could make it happen pretty much in the early game almost. Like it really depends on what you got. The healing is not that much. Well, she's solo healing this, but Champion Zerato, he can sustain himself. But even if he wasn't there, let's say I brought like a hero that could take care of that Berserk, right? Then, yeah, it could happen. Like the sustain coming out of her is plenty enough. The Touch of Recos is helpful, but Soul Weaver artifacts are, you know, there's a lot of good ones. Most of them, yes, they are like requiring you to have more speed if you want to trigger them more often. Like Celestine is a good artifact for her if you're gonna have a lot of speed. Because, I mean, Touch of Recos as well, because it can trigger 1 time per turn, but it's limited, like, because you have to receive the attack on the hero. You put your hero on the front line with that. In PVE, 40% of the time, the AI, Artificial Intelligence, will attack the frontliner hero. So Soul Weaver in the front with Touch of Recos gains more value there because has a higher chance of triggering, guys. So, yeah, let's look. Now I'll pay attention to when her passive is triggering. Because that S2 from Roana is a massive deal. Touch of Recos here. Overhealing doesn't happen, so it only heals for the damage that is, like the damage that is taken. If you, yeah. So you need to have lost some health to receive the healing. Touch of Recos again. I mean, this artifact is huge. Definitely huge. If you can sync yourself to always go before the boss, that's going to be another big one because, yeah, you're going to be able to just have it trigger every time you get attacked. Like this boss, Touch of Recos. So definitely, you definitely want to take care of Berserk. But together, like skill 3 with the barrier on skill 1, but like Touch of Recall, like it's mostly like skill 3 and Touch of Recalls by themselves, they can do really well. And you're gonna be relying on these two things. Of course, more speed is gonna be the key there. Is gonna be the key. But the team doesn't seem to be in the struggles. The attack break is playing a big part there. And the fact that we're getting a bit of memory imprint is nothing insane. Nothing insane. But man, those counter attacks just happening constantly are definitely they're huge. They are huge. But the thing is, the passive, it doesn't even trigger on this boss. It doesn't trigger. This boss doesn't have an extra attack mechanism. If it does have it, it's... no. You know, the amount of healing that she's doing is nothing crazy. Have to go through the skills of the boss, because I don't remember this boss actually doing... there's no dual attack, that's for sure. There is no counter attack, that's for sure. Now, the extra attack part is... well, there's going to be some PVE encounters where the extra attack is going to be one of them. One thing that can definitely happen in quite a few battles is the extra attack. And that will trigger Roana's skill 2, which heals for so much if the extra attack hits more enemies on your team. Like, one hero might be with my gear like 2,000, two hero 4,000, 6,000 on 3, and then 8,000 on 4. Something like that. You put Shimaja staff on Roana or another Soul Weaver. Yeah, like you could see 10,000, which is what I've seen in Arena. I've seen that in Arena with Desert Joe Bazaar with Shimaja staff. So it seems like she can sustain this, but your team has to, yeah, not be that squishy. Like Seaside, she's resurrecting damage to the frontliner. That's already huge. The caster has 3 or more debuffs when attacked. All are dispelled, like I said. Decreased damage suffered from a single attack by all allies. By 80% when there's an Azimanak observer alive at the start of the turn. So that's why you need to kill those eggs, those cocoons. When the caster's health is less than 30% after being attacked, enemy healing is decreased by 50%. So that's an issue. So there's that burn phase. That burn phase is gonna be problematic for you if you are in early to mid game, for sure. If you don't have the right heroes, if you don't have the gear, didn't get lucky, things like that. Attacks all enemies with a 70% chance each to inflict 2 bleeding effects for 2 turns. Revives dead Azimanak observer. There is nothing to cleanse debuffs on her unless you're going to be using Wondrous Potion Vial or that other 5-star artifact that removes the debuff 60% of the chance when it's maxed out. It's a 5-star artifact, so it's probably not going to be maxed out for a lot of players. Attacks all enemies, dispelling all buff and silencing for 1 turn. At the end of the turn, detonates all poison and bleeding effect inflicted on the target. So, yeah, maybe this acts as an extra attack. Attacks all enemies, dispelling all buffs and silencing for 1 turn. At the end of the turn, detonates all poison and bleeding. Maybe Death Trap actually triggers the... that's an extra attack. It might trigger it. Maybe you guys paid more attention than me to the battle, you know, so you could let us know in the comment section if it was actually triggered. But it looks to be like a yeah, first I got good gear, and then it's yeah, on all heroes it's not garbage. It's maybe average on some, good, maybe not amazing, right? Not amazing. Maybe Seaside is like, it's pretty solid, pretty good. But it's Touch of Recalls mostly, with the barrier is playing a small part there on her skill 1. But I would say it's her skill 3. That skill 2, I don't even know if it did trigger. And we don't even need it to trigger. That would be like over the top basically. But the skill up on skill 3 is helping her in terms of healing output, right? In this case, to be honest, Touch of Ricos, if you build her with higher speed, you could be using Celestine. Let's quickly go over the Soul Weaver's artifacts. I mean, I wouldn't say that dispelling on your side is like cleansing is a big deal on this one. The bleeds, they're nothing insane, because you would need to like go crazy with the dispelling. Might as well the cleansing. Sorry, you would need like a hero that just cleanse the whole team or something like that. But in this case, like I mean, if you're gonna be doing one at a time, it's not gonna work out too well. Rod of Amaryllis, not so much, because she only has skill 3 to trigger that, right? It has to be a non-attack skill. Celestine would be my go-to, like not my go-to one, but a recommended one, right? For this, for Azimanak Hunt, right? Because she's gonna be using skill 1 quite often, maybe a dual attack triggers, right? So this is good. Idol's Cheer is not really helping you, besides downing the boss faster. 60% chance to dispel 1 debuff from an ally when attacked. To be honest, like, why? Wait, wait. That's actually not so bad if you're slow, right? But if you're quick, you're gonna go one just Potion Vial, because, yeah, if you're getting attacked multiple times, the thing is the boss is not that fast, so yeah, it's easy to overtake him in terms of speed. Heals all allies by 8% after using a non-attack skill. Once again, that's like Rod of Amaryllis, but AoE version. It's not gonna help because she only has one skill, skill 3, that is a non-attack skill. So that's not gonna work, right? So I would say Celestine is the go-to one if the skill 2 is not gonna trigger in this case, or barely any time. So yeah, a nice boost of 30%. Healing, green numbers across your whole team. If you have any source of recovery, like Champion Zerato, he's going to be getting more healing. If you have lifesteal sets, stuff like that, it will boost those, so keep that in mind. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Astranox. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Press the bell icon to be notified whenever I release a new video. And check out my other videos. They should be showing up on the screen now. I got playlists of all sorts, PvE and PvP content for you guys. I'll be doing more videos for Roana, for PvE and PvP, so stay tuned, guys. But I have Arena, Guild Wars, Guys, Tips and How-Tos, and Abyss Force 62 Plus for a bunch of different team compositions, different heroes. I got best starter guides for my early to mid-game players. Check that out if you want to progress fast, and join my Discord server. The link is in the description. It's free, guys, if you want to get helped or help the community. Over 1,000 members in there. Very cool. Stay safe, guys. Like, really, COVID-19 is no joke. Stay home as much as possible, and yeah, good luck in all you do. Peace out for now.